Hi, it is the Human Operating System time. This channel is for education and technology only. So, after I share the video on the breathing in 1850s Wing Chun or Xiu Lim Tao in the recent week, I have received many messages and discussed with many Wing Chun friends on different topics. So if you have not watched my video on the breathing of the 1850s Xiu Lim Tao or Wing Chun, please check on my YouTube in the past 1 week or so. So from our Wing Chun friends in the past few days, I have received many questions, and there are three categories of questions and discussion there. I'd like to share with you today how I respond to it. The first questions. Many ask me, do I still teach, and how can they come meet me and study with me? Well, the first thing is that I don't teach. I do this for my hobby, and even when I coach our Wing Chun friends, it is a hobby. I will not teach more than say 10-15 people per year, the most, because I need to, based on my free time. Okay, I have to work. So if one really want to learn, the easiest way and the most economic way is that you get my book to study. Every one of my books present a specific area of the ancient Wing Chun, and also of course the traditional Chinese martial art, because it is Wing Chun is a part of traditional Chinese martial art. So get my book and study it. When I say study it, meaning read it carefully, line by line, not jumping and scanning and thinking you understand this. No, line by line, take notes. And in all my books, they all have answering the what, why, how. So over there, if they say, okay, you have the 2C state, or you have the physical element, open handling, it have instructions on the process, how to experience it as in the ancient time. Then one want to investigate in it, make sure one understand it is. One of the issue where I found for most people who read book is they just jumping, scanning around and thinking they understand this. So it end up that what they think the book is writing is not what the book is writing about. Okay. So if you get all this book, you study like one book for say a month, one book for a month. Even this is very thin book, one book for a month. You study 4 months here, you will save a lot of money and your time. You could save up to 10 years just by studying these books of mine. Save 10 years of money and energy. No kidding, okay? Because this is all based on ancient classical. It's not made by Hendrik or created by Hendrik or my biography. None of this book are biography. This is intended to write as university textbooks. Okay, so do that. That will solve many problems already. And of course, it is not my idea or opinion here. It is, you look at, oh, this is what ancient is talking about. Then you know, right? You want to study what the ancient classic, right? You don't want to study what my opinion or my biography. Okay? And all this book After 1 month you study, for sure you will not know everything because there's a lot of details there. So this book is a lifetime reference. You look into it, you check into it, and then later on you probably find something, and then you check into it, and then you get the insight. The key is to get the insight, not just like a computer, you just do a snapshot and then that's it. No. After you study the books, you will get the insight because this is what the ancient Chinese is presenting. Okay? So that's the first answer to the first questions. You don't need to study with me. You just go get the book. It's economic, it's affordable, and you can spend time on it. You don't have to buy all the book at the same time. You don't have to. And in fact, I don't want people to buy all the book at the same time. You just buy one, you make sure you read it so you don't distract by the second one. If you buy all, then you just go jumping around, then you don't learn it. So just get one at a time. All of my book is for helping, or is a study aid. Okay? Now, the second thing is that there are Wing Chun friends who ask me, I mentioned General Qi Ji Guang here, and I mentioned General Qi Ji Guang here. Then it is too far away because General Qi Ji Guang is about 500 years ago and now it's 2020. General Qi Ji Guang is 1560s. Well, as any design director in the Silicon Valley, when we present a public technical paper, we have evidence to back that up. So today I want to share with you, no, it is not too far away. Actually, it needs to broaden up the General Qi Ji Guang. Otherwise, it is a disaster because traditional Chinese martial art is not up for anybody's interpretations. Okay? Now, the first thing is, this is the General Qi Ji Guang book, 1560s. If you look at this first page, and this is the Shaolin Sword Strike, 1780, around the area when it published, but it was written much earlier than that, or the content is the earlier than that content. So if you take the book, it's like 1780, okay? The book is 1780. You read the first page. You read the first page of the Shaolin Sword Strike Classic. You compare it with the first straight. You can see the signature of the General Qi Ji Guang's classic. So this is what? This is 1560s, and this is like 1780. Okay, there's a year there, about 1780. Just put, you can do a snapshot there, okay? Now, so in Chinese, this is called 乾隆49年, okay, the 49 years of Emperor Qianlong of Qing Dynasty. So you know that even though this is 1560, this is 1780, and this book is the Shaolin Sword Strike, which is the mother art of the Wing Chun. Wing Chun is the Shaolin art, Shaolin Sword Strike art. And I want to show you something. Take a snapshot of this thing. Okay? Snapshot of this thing. This is the Bobishi, the Ryushu Bobishi. You take a snapshot of this page. Okay? So you compare these two pages. You compare these two pages, this drawing and this drawing here. Okay, this drawing and this drawing here. And over here, it said that this is 旗鼓式, banner and drum momentum. Banner and drum momentum. Here it said banner and drum momentum. So, this is from Ryushu, right? Japan. Bubishi. Okay? Now, this is the Bible of Karate Bubishi. It is redrawn here. It is redrawn here. Okay, this book is by Patrick McCarthy. It's a very good book. Okay, so if you cannot find this book, you can find this book. Now, you see, the evidence is how the Chi Guang's art go to Ryushu or Okinawa or Japan karate. Okay? Now let me show you one other thing. You freeze this thing. Okay? So, you look at this is the Wing Chun Po Pai Sao. Another one is Wing Chun Kei Zhang. One is the Po Pai Sao. One is the Kei Zhang. Okay? So, it tells us it is line down linked to General Chi Guang. You trace it from the Shaolin side, you trace it from the karate side. When the two things converge, you know what is going on. Okay? Nobody, no, I cannot fake it or how do you say that, or create story, because you got General Chi Guang, you get the Shaolin Sword Strike, which is written in written in the 1780. You have the Karate Bubishi, which is written like in the 1600, late 1600 or 1700, and the area beginning 1700, the area 1600 and so forth. Okay. When these two things parallel come up from Chi Guang is here, and then it comes out, this is the Japanese karate, this is the Shaolin Sword Strike, and then we can see the Wing Chun techniques of the 1850s in the Bubishi. In the Bubishi, what is it telling us? So, in this book, it mentioned, it linked, and it just take all this information there because we know it is that way. The issue is, most people after late 1800 who do Wing Chun, due to the society chaotic situations in China, it has a missing link there. And however, as you see this, the Japanese karate, the Ryushu, the Okinawa, they don't have the Qing dynasty. They don't have the chaotic situations of China. That's why they preserve it down. And well, what you see is what you get, right? What you see is what you get, right? What you see is what you get, right? And this is the ancient drawing. Well, I cannot create that, right? You have a source from China, you have the source overseas from Japan, Ryushu, Okinawa. So, what can you say? Okay? So, that is what it is. We here in this channel, we present whatever evidence we found, okay? We let the evidence speak by itself. So if you cannot buy this book is still available in Taiwan. Get Patrick's books, okay? It is there. And even the drawing here is not really, sometimes it's distorted a little because somebody draw differently, different than this one. But you still can see many things. You know, Patrick did an extremely good job on this thing. Now, the problem is if I don't do this, you have expert in the West like Patrick, who based on evidence and historic data. So someday somebody in the West will come up to say, hey, that's not the case. Okay, let me pull the data for you. So as a Wing Chuner right now, I write it down here before anybody see it, because we need to be responsible for our art. Okay? We don't want to learn about our ancestor from somebody else. If that happens, it will be really sad. So this is the second thing, okay? So it's based on evidence, not based on just I believe, I saw, I think, if maybe, or my grandmaster says so, my Sifu says so, my lineage says so. No. We want to set it in a platform that if people go check into history, check into different arts like karate, Shaolin sword strike, we know we are based on very solid ground. Okay? So that is the thing, the second thing I like to respond to. The third thing is, I have a few discussions with Wing Chuners friends, some of them Sifu and so forth, and many of our friends saying that, well, based on the current situations, so the question come up: is it better to teaching combat first or teaching breeding first? Because they watch my movie on the video on the breeding. Is that so? The question is that good to teach combat first, and or is this good to teach breeding first? Well, and many friends told me, he said, well, because in America, people is more interested in combat. So we want to teach him combat first. Why is there anything wrong? No, I mean, there's market, right? I mean, you know that, people do that. However, I like to share with you what the truth of the ancient Wing Chun, okay? So you decide what you want to do, okay? Because I don't want to make decisions for people, but I want to tell you what is the truth behind this thing. So in the ancient Chinese, the content of the martial art is courage, strength, and techniques. It has to come, three of them: courage, strength, and techniques. So courage has to be supported by strength, and techniques has to be supported by strength. Okay, and your breathing and so forth, that is linked to your strength. Okay, so you have the strength as the platform, and then you have the courage sit on top of it, and then the techniques sit on top of it. Only that way it is a complete art, a complete traditional Chinese martial art. This is the norm. This is the platform. Okay, if we want to talk about traditional Chinese martial art, that's what it is. Now, Of course, you know, after 1900, then traditional Chinese martial art changes. Some art only talk about techniques. And then no strength. And some art, in terms of technique, they say, well, this is the internal art. They talk about Fa Jing technique, but they are not talking about strength. So they don't have this platform. Okay? So that's what, you know, as in ancient traditional Chinese martial art, the breathing part, the body conditioning, that is the horse. And the combat, the teaching of the combat, that is the cut. So you want to put the horse before the cut. You don't want to put the cut before the horse. Okay? And or you just have a cut, you don't have horse. So the ancient Chinese is doing that. Okay? So they always train the breathing style. That's where the Qigong and the internal, this is the real internal. And then, of course, they have to teach the combat stuff. That is what? That is the impulse momentum, as I wrote it here. So over here, you can see the body conditioning, the states, the breathing, and so forth. This is the impulse momentum. So this two book actually cover this thing. Now, if you look at MMA today, a good top MMA trainer, they use sports science. They cover this both. Okay, so this is a code to ancient Chinese. It is a code to ancient traditional Chinese martial art, a code to the 1850s Wing Chun. That is the reality. So if you ask me, can I just still teach combat first and then breathing? For me, I say, well, history doesn't do that. If you just teach combat, as people who say, well, just learn some techniques for self-defense, well, they're missing a big thing. You don't have strength to execute it. The same techniques, if you don't have this, have the strength, then you cannot execute it. In terms of speed and so forth, it's just impractical to do that. Okay? So, there's the reality. Now, speaking of the strength development or this breathing development in for the 1850 Wing Chun, that is actually three common paths, A, B, C, of developing. The first thing, okay, so this is like from the H model. The H model in the Wing Chun Inception book. By the way, this two book is really critical if you really want to know what I'm talking about, what is the ancient thinking, okay? So this is the H model, and there are path A, B, C. So for the common people, common student in 1850s training, it is always from this zone 2 type of heart rate, like your usual common people, going down to the 2C state, okay? Going down to the 2C state, like in last video, I explained why do we need to go to 2C state, to the 2C state. Because over here, if we don't go to the 2C state, the norm, the default for common people, okay, not this exclusive people or talented people, just common people like us, 99.999% we are running a 2-cylinder with a 6-cylinder car. So we are 6-cylinder car, but we're just running 2-cylinder if we don't go down to 2C state. So in the ancient, the 1850, the proper way training, the truth of the training in the ancient or the 1850s Wing Chun is they go down to the 1. So they activate the entire 6-cylinder engine of the person. And from that, they move back on to aerobic and anaerobic. And now you have a 6-cylinder engine to power the entire thing. Okay? So your horse is a 6-cylinder engine horse. It's no longer, if I start from here, do not go down to the 1, then I come up, no matter what, I'm only using a 2-cylinder horse. So in the ancient, it's very important to go down here. Okay? Now in terms of if one get sick or injury, then they go down to the nurture chi part. Like I have put it here in the chapter 6, 7 and those kind of thing. Which is in the Wing Chun Kin Kit of 1850, okay, which is the first physiological states. They go down to the 0. They make sure to nurture their chi or the energy. When that is proper, they shift up to 1, 2, 3. That is for the people who need recovery. Okay, if they overtrain or they have sick or something, so they do that. Or they can go down there to strengthen their body, strengthen their energy before they come back. Okay, usually it's just going down to the Xing Qi state. Usually it just go to the Xing Qi and then it go up, go down to the Xing Qi and going up. And then, but if one want to strengthen or want to do some healing and recovery, serious recovery of the body, they go down to this. Okay, nurture chi and then go up. So that is the second part. Now for the people who is weak, born pretty weak, or have some sickness or illness, like have a high blood pressure, diabetic, or kidney issue or whatever, they just go from here to 0 to nurture their chi, to help their body, and then they can go up gradually to 2. Okay, so 0, they go 1, and then they go 2, but they are not going to go 3. So people usually for after 40 years old, okay, this is the main, the C is the main. They go to the aerobic, only the aerobic zone, and maybe slightly above here, but the main is around here. So the more fit is, now just make it a rule of thumb. The more fit one is, the further one go. The less fit one is, one want to stay around 0. So that's the rule of thumb. Okay, so that is the way how the ancient training is about. That's how the Sifu watch the student. Okay, it tailor it for you. So at least there's the A, B, C 3 parts. Okay, so return to just now the questions on the how to train students. Well, one to have to take this into considerations and this into the considerations. Without this, the strength, your self-defense and so forth really doesn't work. You look at the competitor and like in the street fight, you see how fast is that strike, the attack. How strong is people who fight in the street fight? Of how violent is that? So if one doesn't have the strength part, just that techniques will collapse. Okay. So this is what I like to share with you today. You see a big picture of the truth of what happened in the ancient Wing Chun. Okay. And then you need to make your own decisions on what you study and so forth. I can only share with you what happened in the ancient. Okay, so here on you know when talk about internal, this is internal. You talk about this, I have this trick of fudging, trick of this and trick of that, or this structure. Those are technique stuff. Is that beneficial? Sure, learn as much as you can. However, the strength has to be there. If the strength is not to be there, we couldn't even breathe. Then everything is off. So this is to share with you today.